Hello, friends. It's Amanda. And today I wanted to talk about a little bit more about my chemo experience. I'll wait for a few people to get on here. And I'll just do a little chit chat while people jump on here. So, yesterday, wait, was it yesterday? Today's Saturday, Thursday, 2 days ago, was my very last day of chemo. Yay! Thursday was my very last infusion. So I am officially done with chemo now. Woohoo! So really happy about that. I'm still in my few days. Usually it doesn't hit me on the day of. It hits me on Friday because I had all of my infusions on a Thursday. So usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes a little bit of Monday are my rough days. So I did sleep a lot today. I slept in today. I was just in bed for a lot of the day, but I'm getting a moment of energy. So I thought it would be a good time to make a video. So, and since my kids are with grandma right now, another reason that it's a good time to make a video. So um, there's just a couple of series of videos that I wanted to make just talking about my experience. And um, today I wanted to talk about how chemo was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. Experience of chemo, or if it's something that you are about to begin yourself. Oh, it says my connection is unstable. Hopefully you guys can, oh, there it goes. Okay. But I just wanted to make it less scary, especially for those who might be facing this soon. Um, because I definitely had some fears going into doing chemo, and I thought it was going to be a certain way, and it ended up being easier than I thought it was going to be, and less scary and less awful than I thought it was. I have a couple of notes on my screen here. I just wanted to go over the ways that it was not as bad as I thought. So, um, I thought it was going to be like having the flu kind of for a solid 3 months, because this was a 3-month thing for me for infusions. And it ended up um, being a lot less downtime than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be just like solid feeling disgusting and yuck and nauseous and tired and all of that for the whole time, and that I wasn't going to be able to do anything. But that wasn't the case at all. Um, at least with the kind of chemo that I was doing, they had me on Cytoxin, and I can never remember the names of them. Taxotere, I think, was the other one. And so I know everybody's chemo drugs affects them a little differently. So at least with the ones that I was on, this was how it affected me. Um, it was always, the day of, I felt good. I felt normal. They had me on the dexamethasone, which was the steroid that they put you on, which actually gives you a ton of energy like the day beforehand and the day of. So that was surprising to me that I actually felt really good like the day before and the day of. Um, and then it usually, the side effects didn't hit me until, like I said, the day after. So usually the Friday after the Thursday when I would get chemo is when it would hit me. And probably the biggest side effect was just the amount of sleep that I've needed during that time. Um, Last time especially, it hit me a little harder in that I slept like 14 hours on one day. I never sleep that much. That was really unusual for me. And then taking 4 days max. And then I would start going on the upswing again, and I would start to feel pretty normal again. I've had some of these other side effects, like I've mentioned, like the water retention and the edema, but that's manageable. um, but just in terms of just having the really low energy and feeling down and not able to do a lot is only a couple of days. It's not like this constant feeling of yuck just for solid, several months kind of thing. So that was way better than I expected. So even though I did have the lower energy, it didn't last for that long. So I felt like, oh, okay, this is doable. I just have to plan. It's very predictable. All I had to do was plan for those 3-4 days that I'm not feeling that well, and then I start to feel normal, and I can get back to doing things the way I normally do. And since I have 3 small children, I have been able to plan for that and have the grandparents here, my parents or Bill's mom here to watch the kids on those days that I know that I'm going to be really tired. Like today, I have them with grandma today. So we are so, so thankful for our village, for our family. Oh, here comes the kids.
Mommy.
Yes. I'm going live. Can you say hi to everyone?
Hi.
I'm live right now.
Oh.
Oh yeah, everybody. There's grandma right now. We were just talking about how you were with grandma today.
I got a question, Mommy. So we were reading the book, and we started the book at 3:30, and we ended at 4:30.
Oh, so you read for a whole hour.
Yes.
Okay.
The second half of the Planets by the Smithsonian Institution.
Okay, that's my Alex.
The gas giants.
The gas giant. Yeah. All right.
So the rocky planets.
Okay.
So Chemo fell asleep at 3:30, and he's sort of waking up now. Do you want me to continue trying to wake him up?
Probably. Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Can I have you close the door? Thank you. As I always get with my live streams, we get real life interruptions. So you got to hear Grandma was reading the space book to Mr. Alex there, and he loves that. Peace, positivity. I pray that you are healed. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. Happy Saturday. Thanks. Same to you. Happy Saturday. So, yeah, I also, just in terms of my mentality, that I think that's a separate video that I want to make about how mentally this was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I think I'm going to make another whole separate video on how to, keep a positive attitude and manage your mental health going through difficult things. I think that's worthy of its own video in itself. But that has ended up being easier than I thought as well, maintaining a positive attitude. So happy Sabbath and shalom to you as well. So let's see. The other thing, and I've mentioned this in other videos, is that the nausea has really been not that bad at all. The first round, I didn't feel any nausea at all. With the medications, the anti-nausea medications that they gave me. And then the second, third, and fourth time, there have been a few times where I feel like just a hint of it. But then I take another nausea medication, and within a half an hour, it's gone again. So, I've said that was one of the things that I feared the most, because that's actually one of my biggest fears in life is I hate feeling nauseous. It's like one of those things I cannot stand the most. So that ended up being a lot less bad than I thought it was going to be. So I am so thankful for that. They've really, really come a long way in managing nausea in chemo patients. And that's like even in the last 10 years, it's gotten a lot better. And another thing that is a lot better than I thought it was going to be is my immunity. That is something that they have also gotten way better at managing, even in the last 10, 15 years. They give me these shots that I've talked about that give me like that bone pain, but they stimulate the white blood cell production. So when they give you the chemo, your white cell blood production goes down, your immune cells, but then they give you these injections that bring them back up again. So you only have like a couple of days, like right now, the few days after my chemo, before I start the injections, that my immunity really is at its lowest. And they have a protocol now for bringing it back up to make sure that your immunity, so that you're not as immune compromised as you once were when you were a chemo patient 10, 15 years ago and before. And so that was also a pleasant surprise. I was expecting to be like highly, highly compromised, which I am still compromised, but less so than I thought I was going to be, because they have this injection that they give you that keeps your immunity up, which is amazing. So that was less bad than I thought it was going to be. And let's see, in terms of hair loss, you saw my whole hair loss journey. When I'm done, I'll put a link in the cards here showing my whole hair loss journey. I'll show you right now. I'm still hairless, at least on top of my head, although I still have some hair. You probably can't even see it. It's a webcam, so you can't see detail very well. But I do still have some follicles growing on there, and I've continued to just shave them because I have, completely bald patches like right here, and there's a couple in the back of my head. So if I were to let the few hair follicles grow that are still there, it would look really weird and patchy. So I just have continued to shave the little bits that keep growing. But that was a surprise to me. I thought I was going to lose all of my hair, like all of it, and then it would be completely gone, and that I wouldn't even have to be shaving little bits of it. But you can also see that I kept my eyebrows. I mean, I have eyebrow pencil on there, but the eyebrow follicles are still there, and I kept most of my eyelashes. So I thought I was going to have to get false eyelashes, and I haven't had to this whole time, which was a huge pleasant surprise. So I've still been able to, just put on a little makeup on my eyebrows and put on mascara. I haven't even had to, get false lashes or anything. So I haven't lost all of my hair. I did lose most of like my armpit hair, which is like the weirdest. There's like a couple of follicles in there, but not many, which is weird. And other places has stayed there mostly. My legs, it's kind of been the same. It's about like my lower legs. I've actually haven't lost that much hair at all. It's weird. Like I still am shaving my legs. So it's weird, like that I would lose so much hair on top of my head, but not so much in other places. So that was unexpected and not as bad as I thought. So the thing I'm most happy about, you are a strong mom. Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that I still kept my eyebrows and my eyelashes, especially because that, gives you a little bit more definition in your face and whatnot, and wearing makeup and whatnot. So, yeah. What else is on my list here? Oh, so just in terms of any other symptoms that came up, you meet with the oncology department, either with your oncologist or with one of the nurse practitioners. Every time before you go in for chemo, and you go over all of the symptoms that you've been having, and they help you to manage them. They put you on whatever drugs they need to help you manage whatever symptoms might be coming up, so that it's a lot more comfortable for you. So that was also a pleasant surprise to me, that, if anything came up, I could talk to them in my before appointment, or they also had a phone number that I could call at any time and just say, hey, I'm experiencing this. What can I do about it? And they give you tips right then and there. So they really do an amazing job of helping you manage any sort of uncomfortable symptoms. And that has been a huge pleasant surprise as well. So, yeah, and I guess the last thing I already mentioned was just it ended up being mentally easier than I thought it was going to be. And that's just been a huge blessing. And just choosing to have, feel the emotions that I've chosen to feel, the emotions that I'm feeling, but choosing not to linger in the negative ones for long. And I've chosen to own this stage that I'm going through, because, it's not like it's something that I can change. It's not my fault. It's just something that happened. And And in choosing to have a positive attitude and choosing to own it, that's just made it so much easier. And I've kind of leaned into it, and I've actually been, like, for example, wearing more makeup than I usually do during this time, just so I can still feel feminine, this time when I have no hair, for example. And finding, like cute hats and scarves and stuff, and just having fun with it, and say, oh, this is an opportunity to try something new and fun and be creative with my style and things like that, has really just mentally made it a lot easier. So, but like I said, I think I'm going to make a whole other video just talking about how to stay positive during difficult times, because I've had a lot of people talk to me about that and say, like, how do you stay so positive through all of it? And I have some answers for that, but I feel like that's worthy of a video all by itself. So maybe I'll just do back-to-back upload here. Maybe I'll do one more after I end this one. So anyway, so I think that's all I had to say here. That out there for anybody who might be going through chemo or will be going through chemo soon, or is curious about the whole experience, that it really is not as bad as it once was. They have made such huge improvements, and they're so good at managing symptoms now. And it really is doable, and it's not as scary as at least I thought it was going to be. So I'm so thankful for that. So anyway, I'm just going to keep that short and sweet, and I think I'll end my video there. And we shall see if I have comments. Maybe yes, maybe no, you never know with YouTube. And stay on, because I am going to start another live in about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. And I think I'll talk about how to keep positive during difficult times, because I think that also applies to all of us, just with the state of the world right now.